people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. This is your West Ham Chelsea preview, and not really much needs to be said than 3 points is needed. It's a must. It's very important to really start off our season, off the right foot now. Yes, the goalless draw against Palace, it wasn't the best. I think people did blow that out of proportion. It almost felt like our season was already over before it started, but we have another opportunity, honestly, to just get our first dub on the table and just relax for the weekend and watch other teams just like scrap it out. Playing against this West Ham team, they haven't been looking great. I think Graham Porter, one of his biggest things for me is he always knows how to, coach a structure or somewhat of a defensive unit. It's just when it comes to finishing, I just think he doesn't really have that on lock. And with the options he has at West Ham, it's a bit difficult, to be honest with you. I mean, if you have to rely on Callum Wilson to get your goals and Fulkrug, and it's going to be a very long season. Obviously, they still have Bowen, who's always going to be dangerous. They still have Paqueta, who's always going to be dangerous. But if you can limit those two, I think you should be fine. On our end, Tosin should be back and available for selection. Lavia is out, Badiashile is out, but I think everybody should be as you were. And I think this will be a game where I think Maresca should, just take the opportunity to try something different that he didn't do against Palace. But I just want to go straight into the predicted 11 and just kind of explain my thoughts on why I picked who I did, because it is very important that we do get 3 points on the board. Another draw here, it just wouldn't be looking good, to be honest with you. So this is my predicted team for tomorrow. Sanchez and Go, Reece James, Tosin. I went with Jiro Hato instead of Chalobah or Josh Champong. If you did realize against Palace, there was literally no ball progression from Chalobah to Gittins. I think just having someone who's more of a natural left-footed, player who can also defend the wide spaces, especially when Cucurella inverts into midfield, Hato could be an option to have. Hato gives you just more of that natural progression. Hato, is comfortable in the half spaces as well. He can go into midfield. He's comfortable on the ball, very good in possession. So why not give him an opportunity, right? I think with Chalobah, you saw the uncomfortableness of him trying to, play with his left foot, or just the angles with which he could pass the ball. It felt very limited, and if you're going to try Hato in any type of game, this probably will be a game to experiment to see what kind of balance you'd have. Because even if Cucurella, does come back into the defensive line, it just all shifts. Hato and Tosin as your center backs. Hato has played center back before. He's played left center back as well and left back. So I think it would just be a natural flow. Like, I think the left-hand side will be more, fluid as opposed to when it was against Palace. So I think Hato coming in could definitely help a lot, break the lines, drive into midfield, and also just link up with Gittins a bit more. Being able to just give Gittins the opportunity to just take his man on first time. Because the more you give these teams the space and the opportunity to get back into shape, the less space you have to be able to be dangerous. And I think Hato would just improve on some of these little things we missed. Obviously, Tosin back is important. He's the only defender in our team that could play the Colwell role right now. And so Milner's going on loan. So if you're looking at it, we only have Tosin, Chalobah, and Josh. Feels like we need one more. Maresca is talking about he's going to find solutions from within. Look, it's looking like we need to go out and find solutions. Because if you're selling Anselmino, or if you're sending him out on loan, I don't know who else, someone from the academy, or you're going to have Hato as one of the center backs and just find a left back who's, from the academy to deputize for Cucurella when it's not available. But Reece James starts in the back three, back four. It could really be a toss-up between James and Gusto. If you want to have more of an overlapping fullback in this game, then maybe Gusto is your guy. You want to be able to stretch out that West Ham back line and We saw how Gusto did that to devastating effect against PSG. He looks like he's found a bit of rhythm and some confidence as well. So I would not be surprised to see him start, but I think he probably goes with James. Midfield is going to be the general, Caicedo, Cucurella next to him. My attacking four, I'm going with Neto again on the right, Gittins on the left. I think Esteval is at that point where I just want to see the manager kind of ease him in, ease his minutes, build his minutes gradually, build his fitness, just let him understand, that the physicality of the league. Esteval is ready for it. But I just don't want Esteval to have the pressure of being the person who has to carry this attack. Like he would relish it. The kid looks fearless. The kid is a superstar, but he's still a kid at the end of the day. And it's the job of the management, the coaches to look after him. You want Esteval to just slowly, ease Pedro Neto out of that side. And then if Neto has to go onto the other flank, that's not a problem. I want to see Palma on the right half space, on the right flanks area, because he just does more damage on that side. Palma is just more effective on the right than on the left. Yes, he's just as effective sometimes on the left, but if you want to see him be more dangerous, more devastating, and just being a nuisance, play him on that right side. Let him combine with Neto. Those 1-2s, Neto's movement. And one thing I've noticed recently in the last, month or so, Neto's gameplay has been very direct, very confident as well. Like he's able to cut it now in between two players, drive with the ball, try to shoot or, pass it along. So I think him and Palma combined on that right. It could be him, Palma, and then James, or even if, like I said, if you want to play Gusto to just give that right side some more fluidity, you could do that. Enzo, for me, I wouldn't drop him in this game. That's still the vice captain. He still had a fantastic season last season. It's okay for him to be rusty the first game. If those performances continue into the, 2-3 games, then yeah, drop him. Bring Santos in. Let Santos play. When Xavi Simons comes in, play Xavi Simons in that area. So Enzo for me starts this game. Gittins, I'll give him another run, only on the basis of I don't want to really start Esteval yet. I want to play Gittins, and on that side, I want to see the battle between Gittins and Wan-Bissaka. We all know Wan-Bissaka when it comes to 1v1 defending, one of the best in the league. The guy is a beast when it comes to 1v1 duels. But I think Gittins does have the pace, the power, the quality to be able to be dangerous. And we spent some good money on Gittins as well. He's got the number 11 shirt, so he's got to be a starter. He doesn't have to be a starter, but he looks like someone who was bought in to get some minutes. And these are the games that you want to just let Gittins get his feet just wet. Just let him build on that confidence. I don't think Palace was really the game for Gittins in a way, because it's just you didn't have that much space to just do anything. Palace were very deep, but also when you don't have that natural feed or that line between, say, like a Hato and Gittins that you could potentially get from Chalobah and Gittins, it's just now you might get a bit more fluidity on that side as well. So if your right side is fluid, your left side is fluid, then it just means you're going to be more dangerous and you're going to create more attacks. I'm going to go with Joao Pedro. The guy is a stone cold finisher. I think this could be the game where he comes alive. And if he doesn't, then you bring in Delap into the next game and the one after that. But I think Joao Pedro, on the basis of his performances over the Club World Cup and even in preseason, I think the guy's deserving of that shirt. Start Pedro. I think this game, he gets you a goal, he gets you a... But this should be the game where we really we show up and we look good and we get our goals and we get our points on the board. My score prediction for this game, I think it actually might be a bit more tighter than it would. Against Palace, I went with 3-1. I think this is the game where I predict another 3-1 for Chelsea. And then hopefully we get the job done. They probably get a goal, consolation, Bowen, Paqueta, somebody. But I do expect to see Joao Pedro on the score sheet. Cole Palmer last season bagged a brilliant goal. Jackson last season was just finishing from different angles with the outside of his foot, and It's just, yeah, obviously Jackson's not going to be here. Joao Pedro, it's your time to shine. Delap, now it's your time to shine and take it through. But yeah, this is my predicted starting 11. Score prediction, Chelsea 3-1. Goal scorers, I'm going to predict Joao Pedro. I'm going to go Cole Palmer. I'm going to go Jamie Gittins. These are my predicted goal scorers. But yeah, people, like the video as always. Sub to the channel, hop in the comments. Until the next one, people.